The locals called it the Graves Folly, a Victorian monstrosity perched on a windswept cliff overlooking the churning North Sea. Its windows like blind eyes staring out at the endless grey, its peeling paint whispering tales of a bygone era, and a family lost to tragedy. We, the Harrisons, were blissfully ignorant of the whispers as we pulled up in our dusty van, our new, dream home, looming before us. It started subtly. Cold spots in the drafty halls, the occasional floorboard groan under no one's foot, whispers brushing past my ear in the dead of night. My younger brother, Liam, dismissed it as an old house settling, but the fear gnawed at me. Then came the music. Faint at first, a melancholic waltz drifting from the dusty gramophone in the parlor. It played even when it wasn't wound, the mournful melody echoing through the empty rooms. I'd find Liam staring at the spinning disc, his eyes wide with a terror he couldn't articulate. One stormy night, the power flickered. We huddled in the living room, the only light from the crackling fireplace, when a shadow flickered across the hallway. A woman, dressed in faded Victorian garb, her face obscured by the darkness. Liam screamed, throwing himself behind me. The shadow lingered, then dissolved into the gloom. Sleep became a nightmare of whispers and phantom touches, the weight of unseen eyes on my back. Days turned into weeks, the hauntings escalating. Objects flew from shelves, doors slammed shut on their own, the temperature plummeted inexplicably. Then came the writing. Messages scrawled on dusty mirrors, on fogged windows, pleading for help. Let them out, they read. Free the children. We were no longer trespassers in this spectral domain, we were pawns in a forgotten tragedy. Driven by morbid curiosity and a sliver of empathy, I delved into the town's dusty archives. The truth unfolded, chilling and tragic. The Graves family, consumed by grief after losing their children in a fire, had sealed them in the attic, their spirits forever trapped. The house, it seemed, held not just memories, but their tormented souls. Armed with this knowledge, Liam and I ventured into the attic, a cobwebbed labyrinth choked with despair. There, in a hidden room, we found 2 rocking horses, remnants of a childhood cruelly cut short. As we touched them, a spectral chill washed over us, and the air shimmered. 2 figures materialized, translucent children, their eyes filled with unutterable sadness. We didn't know what to do. Were we meant to appease them, find peace for their restless souls, or flee and leave them to their eternal torment? The question hung heavy in the air, unanswered, as the attic door slammed shut behind us with a bone-chilling thud. Now, the weight of their presence feels different, heavier, more urgent. Are we truly haunted, or have we become unwilling participants in a tragedy yearning for resolution? The attic door slammed shut with the force of a gale, plunging us into darkness. Fear prickled my skin, the ghostly children's pleas echoing in my head. Were they beckoning us back? Did they want us to help them find peace, or trap us with them in their eternal anguish? Liam's whimpers echoed off the dusty floorboards. We gotta get out of here, he choked out, his voice trembling. But something held me rooted to the spot. A strange warmth emanated from the rocking horses, a pull I couldn't resist. Reaching out, my fingers brushed cold wood. A surge of energy jolted me, images flashing through my mind. A roaring fire, screams, panic in the children's eyes. Then, darkness. Their final moments. But amidst the despair, another detail emerged. A hidden passage, concealed behind a loose floorboard. Could it lead to their escape? Or to something more sinister? Liam, I whispered, urgency lacing my voice. There's something here. Look. Together, we pried at the floorboard, revealing a dark opening just wide enough to crawl through. Liam hesitated, his fear palpable. What if it's a trap? He asked, his voice barely above a whisper. The question hung heavy in the air. But the weight of the children's suffering, the urgency in their spectral pleas, pushed me forward. We can't just leave them, I said, my voice gaining conviction. Taking a deep breath, I squeezed through the opening, Liam following close behind. The passage was narrow and dusty, the air thick with an oppressive silence. It felt like descending into the belly of a forgotten memory. Then, light. A faint glow emanated from a room at the end of the passage. As we emerged, our jaws dropped. It was a nursery, untouched by time. Toys sat pristine on shelves, rocking horses identical to the ones upstairs stood frozen mid-motion. But the most chilling sight was the window overlooking the raging sea. The fire started here, I whispered, a knot of dread tightening in my stomach. But why were the rocking horses in the attic? And who moved them? Suddenly, a cold draft swept through the room, extinguishing the faint light. We were plunged into darkness, the silence broken only by Liam's ragged breaths. Then, a whisper, not the children's mournful pleas, but a different voice, laced with malice. You shouldn't have come here. We spun around, hearts pounding. There, in the shadows, stood a figure. Ethereal, yet undeniably human. But it wasn't a child. It was a woman, her face contorted in a mask of rage and despair. Get out, she shrieked, her voice echoing through the room. This is my prison. My punishment. But who was she? Was she another victim, trapped in this house of horrors? Or something more sinister? Before we could piece it together, the figure lunged, its icy touch sending shivers down my spine. Darkness. Chaos. Screams. Then, nothing. When I opened my eyes, I was back in the attic, sunlight streaming through the dusty window. Liam lay unconscious beside me, the attic door wide open. The rocking horses were gone. Had it all been a dream? A terrifying hallucination? But the chilling presence lingered, a weight on my chest. And the question remained unanswered, who was the woman in the nursery? Was she another victim, or a part of the tragedy far more complex than we ever imagined? Now, it's your turn to help us untangle the mystery. In the comments below, tell us. Who do you think the woman in the nursery was? What happened to the children? Was the entire experience a haunting, or something more? Should we return to the Graves Folly and delve deeper, or leave the past buried? Your theories and insights could crack the case wide open. Remember, the truth might be just as terrifying as the ghosts themselves. So be brave, share your thoughts, and let's unravel the secrets of the Graves Folly together.